Now, since I'm starting off this playlist, I should definitely for TV. I should definitely say that that I really like this series I'm about to discuss. However, I'm not the same game I was, so no promises. Nonetheless, I'm not gonna do the whole earth, wind, fire, wind, and water, hot and hot thing. But let's just get on with this. Captain Planet, otherwise known as Captain Planet, and the teenage kids known as the Planeteers. So first of all, guys, welcome to my brand new channel called TV on Tuesday. I'm sorry I'm late on this, but fortunately I have a few problems with the script, so just bear with me. So anyway, Captain Planet, the Planeteers, and the Planeteers is an old 1960s, 1990s series originally aired on Cartoon Network. It basically follows a group of young people, a group of teenagers who are summoned by the Earth Spirit Gaia to help defend the Earth after several catastrophes, wars, revolutions, and basically all this stuff is plaguing the world. And basically what happens is that Gaia, played by Whoopi Goldberg, she takes a look at the destruction and going, okay, this is my Earth, you didn't want to mess with me for the last time, and of course you're gonna get what's coming to you. I'm gonna send 6 people from across the world to go kick your butts, and that's pretty much it. And so she sends out 5 minutes that go up to like 5 corners of the earth, and 5 people want to answer, find the rings, and therefore have answered the call. And those 5 include Kwame, an African tree farmer; Wheeler, a streetwise and yet stereotypical New York outcast; Linka, a Russian chick who has a thing for birds; Guy, an Asian marine life enthusiast; and Mati, a Brazilian native. Apparently, I'm going to go right into it. The first episode actually has an interesting story, and of course has one of my favorite lines ever. Basically, you got the Russian chick and the outcast. They kind of go together. They're kind of all together, and suddenly the Russian guy, the New York guy, goes into like, "Hey, I love your accent, babe. You Russian? Soviet? Please, go away." I love it. Basically, I have kind of mixed feelings about the series overall. I mean, the best thing about the story I can say is that it's definitely got an extremely interesting premise. But peppered into that, I think it's the way down, like the whole kids show thing, the kids show thing at the end, the whole. Some lines are kind of cheesy, like the whole let our powers combine, especially the captain of the by your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. I know, right? I'll explain. So basically, the series is created by Ted Turner. He's trying to make people more aware about the environment, and basically the series it does kind of get a message across in some ways, but not a lot of people really seem to follow that message due to the fact that they're pretty much aware about what's going on in the environment. Some care, some don't, and basically both made this just to make people more aware about the environment. And needless to say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. As for the powers they get, they're basically granted like one of the main like the five of the Earth's component elements, like the Russian, like the African guy gets Earth, which basically means he can like summon like anything out of the Earth, like a mound, an earthquake, even a tremor, and tremor. The New York guy basically gets like fire, which means he can like shoot fire everywhere he goes. He can also like activate a laser, basically burn anything out of existence. The Russian girl, she basically gets like the wind, which you can like control like how windy, control like tornadoes, and that's basically move things around. And the Asian girl Guy, her power is water, which basically allows her to like summon anything water like in one power that people have a lot of hard time accepting is Mati, whose power is hot, which basically means he can sense people's feelings. He can sense things throughout the city. And the hottest thing is he can actually get into people's minds and actually like play with their brains and such, which I find rather mysterious and actually kind of cheesy almost. And basically how Captain Planet comes into the picture, which is not explained by guys, is that basically basically when they combine their powers, like combine their powers with Kwame Shine, the famous "Let all powers combine" catchphrase. Basically, put their powers together. Basically, out of their powers comes Captain Planet, which has one of the most cheesiest quotes throughout the entire. Cheesy's recurring lines throughout the entire series, and basically when I first saw him, I envisioned him as like the love child of Superman and the Silver Surfer, which is kind of weird because the only gay superhero in the DC universe is the Green Lantern, but he doesn't fit any of those. So overall, I have a lot of mixed feelings about the series. First of all, the characters are somewhat great. The one thing that I actually like about the series is the whole relationship thing between Wheeler and Linka, because it's highlighted in several episodes, like the one I just quoted, and although they not only date throughout the series, they do show a lot of affection for one another, and it's actually not as cheesy as most romances you would consider. And basically, I also want to go to the villains in this movie, because basically, the villains are one of the biggest problems, because the villains are just so one-dimensional. It's like, basically like being douchebags for the sake of being douchebags. And plus, one thing you can say about the villains is that they're definitely inspired, or at least some of them are inspired by other DC and Marvel comic book villains. Because first of all, you have like Verminous Scum, Verminous Scum is like this rat human hybrid who kind of looks like the Joker and Two-Face. It basically looks like basically looks like Two-Face's brother with a rat tail, with a rat tail and really ugly skin. Let's include some of the other villains get kind of cheesy, like it's like the female scientist Dr. Bly, who basically. Dr. Bly, who basically has like this computer, it's like this walking, talking computer, basically can control other computers. There's this hawkish Screely, who is basically like the biggest and most fast villain you'll ever meet. And of course, he has like a massive appetite. Like there's not a single episode that he's in if you just him like gobbling on something like a watermelon or even some fried chicken. And P.S. in real life, if he ate that much, he'd be dead meat. No pun intended. Even though the show does fall into bed, the stereotypical kids show stance of like the lessons and everything. One thing I like about the show is that there are some episodes that do kind of get kind of dark and edgy, like some kind of cross the line. Like this one episode of Verminous Scum, he taints Washington D.C. with a new drug that turns them into X and uses them to attack the Plantiers. I do like the fact that they're not that. And when I first saw the episode, I was like, okay, so maybe I'm having second thoughts, but at least I'm not afraid to push the envelope from time to time. And there is one episode that kind of deals with AIDS and everything, and it's another episode that kind of deals with like poachers and guns and such. And there's another one that talks about like street gangs and everything. So basically, you gotta get the writers props for not being afraid to push the envelope from time to time. But overall, if you're kids, you might enjoy this series. But because as you get older, you kind of realize, okay, these characters are great, and the show is great, but I need to move past that and move on. Sure, I might say the environment fine at one point, but that'll be all. And I did hear earlier on that they were planning to make a movie of this. Like Sony has bought the rights to it, and they're trying to make it into a film. And there's only a few things that can help from it. First of all, I'm kind of hoping that they don't make it into the stereotypical kids route. If I made a movie of this, no, I wouldn't. I can't give away my secrets. So overall, that's all I really have to say about Captain Planet. Captain Planet does have a lot of pros and cons. The pros are it has an interesting premise, but the bad part is it kind of needs some. It does need some room for development. Like there could have been a few add things to development, like a few backstories of how the Plantiers' lives and such. But basically, I can't look past that for the fact that they kind of do the whole kids show formula, and like if they add like more depth to it, the kids wouldn't understand it perhaps. And some other pros in there is Captain Planet. He does have a great voice actor to him, as do the other people who have the voice actors, and they really and the accents and the characters really go well together. But the biggest cons I have with it are the villains are too the villains are too one-dimensional. Some of the lessons don't hold water and they get kind of cheesy. Some of the dialogue does get cheesy as well, but overall, it's not. Basically, I'm kind of split on it. So overall, I'm gonna say that overall, I am gonna say that the series might be a good time if you're wasted. By your powers combined, I am Captain. Oh man, I should have eaten that pizza before being summoned. A P.S. Captain Planet, he's basically a humanoid, so he can't really eat anything. You get the point. So overall, that's all I have to say about Captain Planet. Captain Planet. If you can't watch this, then like I said, then sure, he'll like it. But anyway, that's all I have to say. If you guys got anything to say, comment down below. I want to know. Be sure to check out my Facebook page and like as well. Be sure to subscribe for more. And if you want to see more, click down below.
Meep meep.